I tried to stop this, but I never thought it would come to this. Not with her, not after everything we had been through. But now I stood in the middle of the street, my hands trembling, my heart racing, watching her walk away, knowing I had lost all control, because I tried. God, I tried so hard to stop this. But she didn't listen. The warning signs were always there. I should have seen this coming. She had been acting differently for weeks, ignoring my calls, giving me half-hearted answers, coming home later and later with excuses that didn't quite add up. And every time I asked her what was wrong, nothing, babe, just tired. I'm fine, I swear. Stop overthinking everything. But I knew her, and I knew when she was lying. The night everything fell apart. I followed her that night, not because I wanted to invade her privacy, but because I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. And when she pulled up to that unfamiliar house, when she stepped inside without hesitation, I knew I had been right all along. I parked down the street, my pulse hammering. I should have left. Should have turned around and told myself that some things were better left unknown. But instead, I got out of my car, and the moment I stepped closer, I heard his voice, a man's voice, and hers, laughing, like nothing we had ever built even mattered. I couldn't unsee it. I pushed the door open, and there she was, sitting across from him, smiling, looking at him the way she used to look at me. She gasped when she saw me, her body stiffening. "What are you doing here?" she whispered, like I was the one who had something to explain. I swallowed hard, my hands clenched into fists. "I should be asking you that." The man, some guy I had never seen before, stood up, raising his hands. "Hey man, I don't want any trouble." "Then you never should have gone near her," I snapped. She grabbed my arm before I could take a step closer. "It's not what you think," she whispered. I let out a hollow laugh. "It never is it?" She chose this. She chose to betray me. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop it. I stood there, my fists clenched, my heart pounding like a war drum in my chest. She had a choice to tell me the truth before it came to this, but she didn't. And now, here we were. She still held onto my arm, her grip shaky, as if she was afraid of what I'd do next. "Please," she whispered. "Just listen." I let out a dry laugh. "Listen? That's funny, because I've been listening. For weeks, I've been listening to your lies, to your excuses, and now you want to talk." Her lips parted, her eyes glistening with something close to regret. But I wasn't sure if she regretted what she had done, or just that she had been caught. The other guy had no idea what was coming. The man standing behind her shifted awkwardly, rubbing the back of his neck. "Look man, I didn't know she had someone," he said. I turned my gaze on him, my anger barely contained. "And that makes it better?" I asked coldly. He put his hands up again. "I'm just saying I didn't know." She shut up. My voice was low, steady, dangerous. Because right now, I wasn't sure if I was angrier at him for touching what was mine, or at her for letting him. The moment that broke me, she tugged at my sleeve again, her voice shaking. "I swear, it didn't mean anything." And that was the moment I broke. I stared at her, disbelief flooding through me. "Didn't mean anything," I repeated, my chest tight. "Then why did it happen?" She didn't answer, because there was no answer. No excuse, no reason that would make this hurt any less. I took a deep breath, stepping back. Her grip on me loosened, and suddenly I realized I was done fighting for someone who had already let me go. She made her choice. Now I was making mine. I turned toward the door, my body numb, my mind racing. "Where are you going?" she asked, panic creeping into her voice. Anywhere but here. I grabbed the doorknob, but before I left, I glanced at her one last time. You had every chance to tell me the truth, I said quietly. But you didn't. She opened her mouth, but I shook my head. And now, I don't need to hear it. Then I walked out, and this time, I didn't look back. The cold night air hit me as soon as I stepped outside, but it wasn't enough to numb the fire burning in my chest. I kept walking, each step heavier than the last. She didn't chase after me. She didn't call my name. She just let me go, like I never meant anything to her. And maybe I never did. The weight of betrayal. I didn't know where I was going. I just needed to be anywhere but there. Anywhere but in that house, in that moment, watching the girl I gave everything to stand next to a man who wasn't me. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out, half expecting to see her name. But it wasn't her. It was my best friend. Him. Where are you? I didn't reply. I couldn't, because how do you put into words the feeling of watching the person you love throw it all away? How do you explain the way your whole world shatters in seconds? You don't. You just carry it. A past that won't let go. I reached my car, gripping the door handle so tightly my knuckles turned white. My mind was a mess of memories. The way she used to look at me, the promises we made, the nights we spent talking about forever. And now she was just another mistake. Or at least, that's what I wanted to believe. But deep down, I knew the truth. She wasn't a mistake. She was a lesson. And the worst part, I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to love someone the same way again. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel so tightly, my fingers ached. Everything inside me screamed to drive away, to leave this night behind, to forget her, to forget everything. But forgetting wasn't that easy. Not when the pain was still fresh. Not when her voice still echoed in my head. I swear it didn't mean anything. Lies, because if it truly meant nothing, then why did it happen? I exhaled sharply, my chest rising and falling in slow, heavy breaths. I needed to clear my head. I needed answers. And for the first time tonight, I knew exactly where to get them. The confrontation I couldn't avoid. I turned the key in the ignition and pulled out onto the empty street. Not toward my apartment, not toward the bar where I could drown this in something strong, but back to her place. Because this wasn't over. Not yet. She owed me the truth, and this time I wouldn't walk away without it. Face to face again. By the time I reached her building, my pulse was racing. My body screamed at me to turn around. But my heart still needed to hear what she had to say. I knocked. A few seconds passed. Then the door creaked open, and there she was. Her eyes were swollen, red-rimmed, like she had been crying. Good, because I had been bleeding inside. You came back, she whispered, like she hadn't expected to see me again. I swallowed hard, my jaw tightening. No more lies, I said firmly. No more excuses, no more it didn't mean anything. You're going to tell me the truth, right now. Her lip trembled. She gripped the edge of the door. Her whole body tense. And then she finally spoke. I didn't stop because I didn't know how. My breath caught in my throat. What do you mean? She exhaled shakily, looking away. I wanted to, she murmured. I wanted to stop before it got this far. But I kept telling myself it wasn't serious, that it was harmless, that I could control it. But I couldn't. A cold realization settled in my chest. This wasn't just a mistake. It was a choice, over and over again. And she had chosen him. I took a step back, my hands shaking. Then why are you crying? I asked, bitterly. She let out a broken laugh. Because I lost you. Silence. Long, heavy, unforgiving. Then I nodded. Yeah, I whispered. You did. And this time, I was the one who walked away. I walked away. I didn't stop. I didn't turn around. I didn't wait for her to beg me to stay, because I knew something now. There was nothing left to say. She had already made her choice. And now for the first time, so was I. The pain of letting go. The night air was sharp, cutting against my skin, but nothing compared to the ache inside me. It was funny. I thought I would feel angrier. I thought I would storm out, slam my fists into the walls, scream at the sky, drown my pain in whatever numbed it fastest. But I didn't. Because beneath the heartbreak, beneath the betrayal, beneath the weight of everything she had done, there was relief. Because I wasn't fighting anymore. I wasn't begging. I wasn't waiting for someone to love me the way I loved them. I was done. The last goodbye. My phone buzzed in my pocket as I reached my car. Her name flashed on the screen. I stared at it. Once I would have answered without hesitation. Once I would have clung to every word, hoping for an explanation that would erase what she had done. But now I let it ring, and when it stopped, I blocked her number. Moving forward without her, I got into my car, gripping the steering wheel tightly. This was it. This was the moment I let her go. Not just physically, but completely. I took a deep breath, one that felt lighter than any I had taken in weeks. Then, without another glance back, I drove away, and for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid of what came next, because the past, it was behind me now.